Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome back to the daily readings of Srila Prabhupada's books. Here in this fine Dwadashi day. Hope you all had a nice Ekadashi yesterday. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, after he ended a lecture in Munjer, there was an earth tremor, and it caused a mild flooding of the adjacent Ganga. The water soon receded, after which Srila Saraswati Thakur said this: in due course, Mahapralaya, devastating floods, will inundate the entire universe. If you attempt to survive by swimming in that deluge, then do not neglect to take hold of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Sri Caitanya-caritämrta. Or if you cannot hold all three, then release Bhagavad Gita. If necessary, you may also relinquish Srimad Bhagavatam, but under no circumstances release your hold on Sri Caitanya-caritämrta. For if this one book remains, then the flood can do no actual damage, because after it has subsided, the message of Shastra can be revived from Sri Caitanya-caritämrta alone, it being the essence of all Shastra. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So here we are. We've reached the 17th chapter of the Madhya-lila. The Lord travels to Vrndävana. Text 1. On his way to Vrndävana, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed through the forest of Jharikanda and made all the tigers, elephants, deer, and birds chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and dance. Thus, all these animals were overwhelmed by ecstatic love. 2. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Lord Nityananda, all glories to Advaita Chandra, and all glories to all the devotees of the Lord. Text 3. When autumn arrived, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decided to go to Vrndävana. In a solitary place, he consulted with Ramananda Roy and Swarup Damodar Goswami. Text 4. The Lord requested Ramananda Roy and Swarup Damodar Goswami to help him go to Vrndävana. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I shall leave early in the morning and go incognito, taking the road through the forest. I shall go alone. I shall not take anyone with me. Text 6. If someone wants to follow me, please stop him. I don't want anyone to go with me. Text 7. Please give me your permission with great pleasure, and do not be unhappy. If you are happy, I shall be happy on my way to Vrndävana. Upon hearing this, Ramananda Roy and Swarup Damodar Goswami replied, Dear Lord, you are completely independent. Since you are not dependent on anyone, you will do whatever you desire. Dear Lord, kindly hear our one petition. You have already said that you will derive happiness from our happiness. This is your own statement. Text 10. If you will please accept just one request, we shall be very, very happy. Text 11. Our Lord, please take one very nice Brahmana with you. He will collect alms for you, cook for you, give you prasadam, and carry your water pot while traveling. Text 12. When you go through the jungle, there will be no Brahmana available from whom you can accept lunch. Therefore, please give permission for at least one pure Brahmana to accompany you. 13. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I shall not take any of my associates. I shall not take any of my associates with me, because if I choose someone, all the others will be unhappy. Text 14. Such a person must be a new man, and he must have a peaceful mind. If I can obtain such a man, I shall agree to take him with me. Purport. Formerly, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to South India, a Brahmana named Kala Krishnadas went with him. Kala Krishnadas fell victim to a woman, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had to take the trouble to free him from the clutches of the gypsies. Therefore, the Lord here says that he wants a new man, one who is peaceful in mind. One whose mind is not peaceful is agitated by certain drives, especially sex desire, even though he be in the company of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Such a man will become a victim of women and will fall down even in the company of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Maya is so strong that unless one is determined not to fall victim, even the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot give protection. The Supreme Lord and his representative always want to give protection, but a person must take advantage of their personal contact. If one thinks that the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his representative is an ordinary man, he will certainly fall down. Thus, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not want a person like Kala Krishnadas to accompany him. He wanted someone who was determined, who had a peaceful mind, and who was not agitated by ulterior motives. So this is a very deep lesson, because you would normally think that the person who is older would be more secure and more fixed. But here is a lesson for us that the tendency, after we've been in Krishna consciousness for some time, to take for granted our good fortune is very strong. And therefore sometimes you see even older devotees, or especially older devotees, may become a little ornery or what's the word? Argumentative, and these kinds of things. And when a person is new, he tends to be fresh and innocent. And of course, we want to become always fresh and innocent. But this is a lesson. It's a lesson and a warning to all of us. Just because you're an older devotee doesn't mean that you're safe. Text 15. Swarup Damodar then said, "Here is Balabhadra Bhattacharya, who has great love for you. He is an honest, learned scholar, and he is advanced in spiritual consciousness." Purport. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted a new man, not a person like Kala Krishnadas who would fall for women. Swarup Damodar therefore immediately pointed out a new Brahmana named Balabhadra Bhattacharya. Sri Swarup Damodar Goswami had studied this person very thoroughly and had seen that he had great love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Not only did he love the Lord, but he was also learned and honest. He was not duplicitous, and he was advanced in Krishna consciousness. According to a Bengali proverb, Ati Bhakti Chorera Lakshana. Too much devotion is a symptom of a thief. A person who assumes himself to be a great devotee, but mentally is thinking of something else, is duplicitous. One who is not duplicitous is called sadhu. Sarup Damodar immediately pointed out that Balabhadra Bhattacharya was quite fit to accompany the Lord because he was a learned scholar and was simple and had great love for Sri Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was also advanced in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, he was considered appropriate for accompanying the Lord as a personal servant. The words snigdha, very peaceful, and su-snigdha, affectionate, are used in verses 14 and 15 respectively, and they are also found in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.8. Bruyu snigdasya shishyasya guravo guyam apyuta. A disciple who has actual love for his spiritual master is endowed by the blessings of the spiritual master with all confidential knowledge. Srila Sridhar Swami has commented that the word snigdasya means prema vrata, prema vata. The word prema vata indicates that one has great love for his spiritual master. Text 16. In the beginning, he came with you from Bengal. It is his desire to visit and see all the holy places of pilgrimage. Text 17. In addition, you may take another Brahmana who will act as a servant en route and make arrangements for your food. If you can also take him with you, we will be very happy. If 2 people go with you through the jungle, there will certainly be no difficulty or inconvenience. 19. The other Brahmana can carry your cloth and water pot, and Balabhadra Bhattacharya will collect alms and cook for you. Text 20. Thus, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the request of Sarup Damodar Pandit and agreed to take Balabhadra Bhattacharya with him. On the previous night, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had visited Lord Jagannath and taken his permission. Now, near the end of the night, the Lord got up and started immediately. He was not seen by others. Text 22. Because the Lord had departed, the devotees, unable to see him early in the morning, began to search for him with great anxiety. 23. While all the devotees were searching for the Lord, Sarup Damodar restrained them. Then everyone fell silent, knowing the mind of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. 24. The Lord abandoned walking on the well-known public road and went instead along a bypass. He thus kept the city of Cuttack on his right as he entered the forest. Text 25. When the Lord passed through the solitary forest, chanting the holy name of Krishna, the tigers and elephants, seeing him, gave way. When the Lord passed through the jungle in great ecstasy, packs of tigers, elephants, rhinoceros, and boars came, and the Lord passed right through them. 27. Balabhadra Bhattacharya was very much afraid to see them, but by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's influence, all the animals stood to one side. Text 28. One day a tiger was lying on the path, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, walking along the path in ecstatic love, touched the tiger with his feet. 29. The Lord said, "Chant the holy name of Krishna." The tiger immediately got up and began to dance and to chant Krishna, Krishna. Text 30. Another day, while Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was bathing in a river, a herd of maddened elephants came there to drink water. 31. While the Lord was bathing and murmuring the Gayatri mantra, the elephants came before him. The Lord immediately splashed some water on the elephants and asked them to chant the holy name. Purport. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, playing the part of a very great, advanced devotee. On the Maha-Bhagavat platform, the devotee makes no distinction between friends and enemies. On that platform, he sees everyone as a servant of Krishna. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 5.18, Vidya Vinaya Sampane Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Shvapake Cha Panditak Samadarshinaha. The humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog-eater, outcast. A Mahabhagavat, being learned and advanced in spiritual consciousness, sees no difference between a tiger, an elephant, or a learned scholar. The test of advanced spiritual consciousness is that one becomes fearless. He envies no one, and he is always engaged in the Lord's service. He sees every living entity as an eternal part and parcel of the Lord, rendering service according to his capacity by the will of the Supreme Lord. As Krishna confirms in the Bhagavad Gita 15:15, Sarvasya chaham hridi sanavishto mattak smritir jnanam apohanam cha. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. The Mahabhagavat knows that Krishna is in everyone's heart. Krishna is dictating, and the living entity is following his dictations. Krishna is within the heart of the tiger, elephant, and boar. Therefore Krishna tells them, "Here is a Mahabhagavat, do not disturb him." Why then should the animals be envious of such a great personality? Those who are neophytes, or even a little progressed in devotional service, should not try to imitate the Mahabhagavat. Rather, they should only follow in his footsteps. The word anukara means imitating, and anusara means trying to follow in the footsteps. We should not try to imitate the activities of a Mahabhagavat or Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Our best efforts should be exerted in trying to follow them according to our ability. The Mahabhagavat's heart is completely freed from material contamination, and he can become very dear, even to fierce animals like tigers and elephants. Indeed, the Mahabhagavat treats them as his very intimate friends. On this platform, there is no question of envy. When the Lord was passing through the forest, he was in ecstasy. Thinking the forest to be Vrndävana, he was simply searching for Krishna. Text 32. The elephants, whose bodies were touched by the water splashed by the Lord, began to chant Krishna, Krishna, and dance and sing in ecstasy. Text 33. Some of the elephants fell to the ground, and some screamed in ecstasy. Seeing this, Balabhadra Bhattacharya was completely astonished. Text 34. Sometimes Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chanted very loudly while passing through the jungle. Hearing his sweet voice, all the does came near him. Text 35. Hearing the Lord's great vibration, all the does followed him left and right. While reciting a verse with great curiosity, the Lord patted them. Text 36. Blessed are all these foolish deer, because they have approached Maharaj Nanda's son, who is gorgeously dressed and is playing on his flute. Indeed, both the does and the bucks worship the Lord with looks of love and affection. Purport. This is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 10:21-11, spoken by the gopis of Vrindavan. Text 37. While Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was passing through the jungle, 5 or 7 tigers came. Joining the deer, the tigers began to follow the Lord. Text 38. Seeing the tigers and deer following him, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately remembered the land of Vrindavan. He then began to recite a verse describing the transcendental quality of Vrindavan. Vrindavan is the transcendental abode of the Lord. There is no hunger, anger, or thirst there. Though naturally inimical, human beings and fierce animals live together there in transcendental friendship. Purport. This is a statement from Srimad Bhagavatam 10:13-60. After stealing the cowherd boys and calves of Krishna, Lord Brahma kept them asleep and hid them. After a moment, Brahma returned to see Krishna's condition. When he saw that Krishna was still busy with his cowherd boyfriends and animals and was not disturbed, Lord Brahma appreciated the transcendental opulence of Vrindavan. Text 40. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Chant Krishna, Krishna," the tigers and deer began to chant Krishna and dance. 41. When all the tigers and does danced and jumped, Balabhadra Bhattacharya saw them and was struck with wonder. Text 42. Indeed, the tigers and deer began to embrace one another, and touching mouths they began to kiss. 43. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw all this fun, he began to smile. Finally, he left the animals and continued on his way. Text 44. Various birds, including the peacock, saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and began to follow him, chanting and dancing. They were all maddened by the holy name of Krishna. When the Lord loudly chanted Hari Bol, the trees and creepers became jubilant to hear him. Purport. The loud chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra is so powerful that it can even penetrate the ears of trees and creepers. What to speak of those of animals and human beings? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu once asked Haridas Thakur how trees and plants could be delivered, and Haridas Thakur replied that the loud chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra would benefit not only trees and plants, but insects and all other living entities, living beings. One should therefore not be disturbed by the loud chanting of Hare Krishna, for it is beneficial not only to the chanter, but to everyone who gets an opportunity to hear. Text 46. Thus all living entities in the forest of Jharikanda, some moving and some standing still, became maddened by hearing the holy name of Lord Krishna vibrated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Purport. The great forest of Jharikanda is a great tract of land including Atagada, Denkanala, Angula, Lahara, Kiyanjada, Bhamada, Bonai, Gangapur, Chota, Nagapur, Yashapur, and Saraguja. All these places, which are covered with mountains and jungles, are known as Jharikanda. Text 47. In all the villages through which the Lord passed, and in all the places he rested on his journey, everyone was purified and awakened to ecstatic love of God. When someone heard the chanting of the holy name from the mouth of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, and someone else heard this chanting from that second person, and someone again heard this chanting from the third person, everyone in all countries became a Vaishnava through such disciplic succession. Thus everyone chanted the holy name of Krishna and Hari, and they danced, cried, and smiled. Purport. The transcendental potency of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is herein explained. First, the holy name is vibrated by Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. When someone hears from him directly, he is purified. When another person hears from that person, he is also purified. In this way, the purification process is advanced among pure devotees. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and no one can claim his potency. Nonetheless, if one is a pure devotee, hundreds and thousands of men can be purified by his vibration. This potency is within every living being, provided he chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra offenselessly and without material motives. When a pure devotee chants offenselessly, another person will become a Vaishnava, and from him another Vaishnava will emerge. This is the Parampara system. Text 50. The Lord did not always manifest his ecstasy. Being afraid of a great assembly of people, the Lord kept his ecstasy concealed. Text 51. Although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not manifest his natural ecstatic love, everyone became a pure devotee simply by seeing and hearing him. Purport. Srila Rupa Goswami has described Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Mahabhadanyavatara, the most munificent incarnation. Although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not physically present now, simply by chanting his holy name, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, people throughout the world are becoming devotees. This is due to the ecstatic chanting of the holy name of the Lord. It is said that a pure devotee can see the Lord at every moment, and because of this, he is empowered by the Lord. This is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita 538. Premanjana chudita bhakti bilochanena santak sadaiva hridayeshu bilokayanti. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared 500 years ago, but it cannot be said that now the potency of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is less than it was in his presence. By hearing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through the Parampara system, one can be purified. Therefore, in this verse it is said, Tatapi tanra darshana shavana prabhave. It is not that everyone is able to see Krishna or Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu physically, but if one hears about him through books like Sri Caitanya-caritämrta and through the Parampara system of pure Vaishnavas, there is no difficulty in becoming a pure Vaishnava, free from mundane desires and personal motivations. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Once Prabhupada pointed out that he was 11th in the line. In other words, he had heard from a person who had heard, from a person who had heard, just 11 devotees removed from Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu himself. The ecstasy. That's how Krishna consciousness is spreading, whether we know it or not. In this way, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu personally toured Bengal, East Bengal, Orissa, and the southern countries, and he delivered all kinds of people by spreading Krishna consciousness. Text 53. When Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu came to Jharkhand on his way to Mathura, he found that the people there were almost uncivilized and were devoid of God consciousness. Purport. The word Bila refers to a class of men belonging to the Beals. The Beals are like black Africans, and they are lower than Shudras. Such people generally live in the jungle, and Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu had to meet them. Text 54. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu gave even the Beals an opportunity to chant the holy name and come to the platform of ecstatic love. Thus he delivered all of them. Who has the power to understand the transcendental pastimes of the Lord? Purport. As evidence of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, we are experiencing that the people of Africa are taking to Krishna consciousness, chanting and dancing, and taking prasadam like other Vaishnavas. This is all due to the power of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Who can understand how his potency is working all over the world? Text 55. When Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu passed through the Jharkhand forest, he took it for granted that it was Vrndävana. When he passed over the hills, he took it for granted that they were Govardhan. Text 56. Similarly, whenever Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu saw a river, he immediately accepted it as the river Yamuna. Thus, while in the forest, he was filled with great ecstatic love, and he danced and fell down crying. Along the way, Balabhadra Bhattacharya collected all kinds of spinach, roots, and fruit whenever possible. Text 58. Whenever Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu visited a village, a few brahmanas, 5 or 7, would come and extend invitations to the Lord. Text 59. Some people would bring grain and deliver it to Balabhadra Bhattacharya. Others would bring milk and yogurt, and still others would bring ghee and sugar. Text 60. In some villages there were no brahmanas. Nonetheless, devotees born in non-brahmana families came and extended invitations to Balabhadra Bhattacharya. Purport. Actually, a sannyasi or a brahmana will not accept an invitation extended by a person born in a lower family. However, there are many devotees who were raised to the platform of brahmana by their initiation. These people are called Shudra Mahajan. This indicates that one who was born in a non-brahmana family has accepted the brahmana status by initiation. Such devotees extended invitations to Balabhadra Bhattacharya. A Mayavadi sannyasi will accept an invitation only from a brahmana family, but a Vaishnava does not accept an invitation from a brahmana if he does not belong to the Vaishnava sect. However, a Vaishnava will accept an invitation from a brahmana or Shudra Mahajan if that person is an initiated Vaishnava. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu himself accepted invitations from Shudra Mahajans, and this confirms the fact that anyone initiated by a Vaishnava mantra can be accepted as a Brahmana. One can accept an invitation from such a person. And with that, my dear friends, my dear devotees, I'm going to stop tonight's reading. My recovery is going on, and I'm feeling better, but it still has a way to go. They say 6 to 8 weeks. That's what I've been told. So we'll stop here. Hare Krishna. All glories to all the assembled devotees, and if they have reflections or discussions or anything else they want to say, please shower me with that mercy.
Gopakanya Devi Dasi says, Hare Krishna, dear Maharaj, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Haribo, Gopakanya, Devi Dasi ki jai ho.
Brian Phillips says, Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Okay, we're still waiting for you to say something more, but go ahead.
Sri Devi Dasi says, Hare Krishna Maharaj, another day of nectar from your pure lips. Please accept my humble obeisances. Glories to Srila Prabhupada.
May your words come true, Sudevi, my dear God sister. May your words come true. Hare Krishna.
From Rati Manjari, she says, Jai Guru Maharaj, you are taking us through the forest of nectar effortlessly. From Raja Lakshmi, she says, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Raja Lakshmi. I'm so happy to see you hearing Caitanya-caritämrta regularly like this. Makes me so happy. I feel like I'm paying you back a little bit for your hospitality while I was staying at your home.
Raikanu Devi Dasi says, Hare Krishna, dear Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Raikanu, we hope you are settled in the UK now. Having escaped the chaos of Hong Kong.
From Noel Craver.
Noel Craver.
He says, I appreciate very much the reminder that, quote, Maya is so strong that unless one is determined not to fall victim, even the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot give protection.
Yes.
Unquote. Maya is always lurking, and as you mentioned, we must stay fresh in our service and never become complacent.
Yes, and Srila Prabhupada used this as an example for those who feel doubtful about how we could have fallen from the spiritual world. This is an example. In the presence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, watching these kinds of miracles in front of his eyes, Kala Krishnadas still became attracted by a gypsy woman. Of course, they were very expert, these Bhattaharis. They knew how to, entangle, men with beautiful women. But still, it is the example. I mean, Lord Chaitanya still delivered him. He still went there and did the needful to rescue him. But it just shows that anyone can fall away, even from the personal association from the Lord. That is the example in Shastra. Because we always maintain our tiny independence, because that is our nature. We're part and parcel of Krishna, and Krishna is the supreme person, the supremely independent and a supreme person. Therefore, we have a little tiny bit of that independence, and therefore we have the ability to use it properly or to misuse it. And when we misuse our small independence, then we become attracted and covered by the material energy. And we forget who we are. We think we're the body, and therefore we think that we can have some pleasure outside of the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that is illusion. That's what Maya means. That's the definition of Maya. So if we don't hear regularly like this, then we will forget, because time is all powerful. We just read the 11th chapter today, Abhay and I, this morning. We do a chant every morning during our morning program, and we were hearing about Arjuna, who was given a vision of the universal form by Krishna. And when he asked this fearful, gigantic form who he was, he said, "Time I am, destroyer of the worlds." So there's no way that you can escape time, material time. It is an incarnation of Krishna.
He says, my monkey mind needs this reminder every day.
Yes.
I will keep chanting, hearing, and reading. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Yes, that's correct. That's the conclusion. Thank you very much.
From Santa Rupa Devi Dasi.
Yes, Shantarupa.
Says, Hare Krishna, dear Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
How important hearing in a humble state of mind is.
Yes.
This daily hearing is very helpful. Thank you.
Yes, and another point is that humble state of mind is actually helps us, or we are helped rather, to attain this humble state of mind by the miseries of material existence. In other words, if we can just always remember that this material existence is meant to help keep us humble and remind us, then we can hear with the proper mentality. As soon as we forget that, then we're swept away by the waves of material nature, ocean of material existence. We're in an ocean of material existence, and we're in great danger at every second. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would walk through the forest, tigers and deers and elephants and rhinoceroses, and whatever. They would follow him and dance and chant, just on his order. That's how fortunate we are to have come in contact with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his representatives. We're so fortunate. Hare Krishna.
From Guru Charana Padma. Hare Krishna.
Guru Charana Padma. Hare Krishna. I'm remembering having fond memories. There must be only one Guru Charana Padma in the movement. My god sister, my dear god sister, the wife of Kripamoya Prabhu. My humble obeisances to you. Hare Krishna. She was one of the best book distributors on the planet. She still is. Extremely intelligent, gifted, and completely dedicated, surrendered soul to Srila Prabhupada. Whoever has her company is greatly fortunate. Hare Krishna.
From Rati Manjari. She says, Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. I thought it was marvelous to hear tonight about the Lord and his merciful dealings with the forest animals. Even though the Lord is always the Lord, he played the part of a great devotee, and his behavior with the animals took the Pandita Samadarshana verse to another level.
Yes, absolutely. I've read articles, during this pandemic, that when there was really big lockdowns in different places, wild animals would walk through the streets of the cities and enjoy the facilities. I kind of felt it was like the opposite of the, Lord Chaitanya going through the forest. They would come into the forest of the concrete forest and enjoy the facilities of the parks and the streets, because they were practically empty. Which shows you they're a lot like human beings, and they're animals, and they're ignorant, but they're still souls, they're living beings. There was one photo, or one little clip taken of a man who was sitting near a swimming pool, and he was laying down, taking the sun, and a bear came up to him and looked at him, and he went like this. He touched him on the foot, and the man went like this and jumped, and the bear ran off. It looked like some kind of, movie or something, I saw, another little clip of a man who was a trainer of a lioness from a cub. He raised this, and then he got reunited, and the cub, the big lion, came up and actually wrapped their arms around him and held them, and they embraced. It was right there in the photo. So that potential is there in all living beings to be friendly. And that's Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, all the animals and plants and birds and humans, and they all live in ecstasy and Krishna consciousness together. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and showed us by his personal example how that is possible. It is not theoretical. Hare Krishna.
Comment from Chakradari.
Chakradari Haribol, my savior. Well, Hare Krishna.
He says, Maya is very strong. We are safe only if we are carefully reading Srila Prabhupada's books, hearing and watching our mind's motives.
Thank you very much, Chakradari. That's a wonderful realization. May we all take shelter of that realization. Thank you.
From Vrndävaneshwari Devidasi.
Jai Vrindavaneshwari.
She says, Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for your reading, and wonderful to hear and see you again. I loved hearing how all living entities, plants and small critters, get benefit from hearing the Maha Mantra.
Yes, and therefore we should chant the Hare Krishna mantra wherever we go. When riding on our bicycle, or driving in our car, or walking, or however we travel, we should chant at the top of our lungs, Hare Krishna.
And some questions from Rati Manjari.
Yes.
She says, thank you so much. So nice to hear your animal stories. I also have two questions. One, tonight we heard that the Lord murmured the Gayatri mantra. I looked up the word and learned that it is a low sound, one step above whispering. I understood before that the Gayatri mantra is a secret mantra. I was wondering if it is allowed for us to chant the Gayatri mantra out loud softly when there are no others
Murmuring,
around.
no. We should chant. We can chant it within ourselves and within our mouth, but not so that others can hear. Murmuring means so not others can hear clearly. It's to yourself. When one murmurs, he murmurs to himself. So you can say it softly to yourself so that others cannot hear. That's allowed.
Second question. We also heard once again the important point that we should follow the great devotees, but not imitate them. Could you please elaborate on the difference between the two?
Yes, when we follow in the footsteps of the great souls, then we do what they say. When we imitate, we try to act the way they act without doing what they say, without understanding what we're doing, without accepting their teachings and their example. In other words, it's blind. The blind following is imitation. But following the footsteps means to understand with proper, to follow with proper understanding, and to follow the instructions that are given by such great souls. Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. What can I say? I'm so happy to be back in your association and to hear your reflections and to hear the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with you, because they are all powerful and they're sweet, and there's nothing like them. There's nothing like the Caitanya-caritämrta. Let us make it our life and soul to hear the Caitanya-caritämrta together. That's why I selected that poetic glorification of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur to read every day before we hear the Sri Caitanya-caritämrta. And always remember that hearing these books out loud is also non-different than chanting the holy name of the Lord. The holy name of the Lord and the holy glories of the Lord and the Lord's pure devotees, they are non-different, they're absolute. They're full of spiritual potency. And through the parampara system, this is how we become eligible to become purified enough to go back home, back to Godhead and be with Krishna and Lord Chaitanya again personally. Hare Krishna. Sri Caitanya-caritämrta ki jai. Samaveda Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol. See us tomorrow night, same time, same place, same station, same subject, here in the Haven. Hare Krishna. See you tomorrow.